Well, Amanda, it's great to be speaking to you yet again here in Brooklyn, just down the road from your home in Bushwick. And we've just announced the news that not only the biggest fight in women's boxing has just been made, but it's one of the biggest fights in boxing history as well. Yourself against Katie Taylor for the Undisputed Lightweight title. This is the one we've all been waiting for, isn't it?
Yes, it definitely is. This one is definitely for the fans, you know. Undisputed Championship. Once again, though, not in my weight class, but I'm up for the challenge to go in there and face one of the best pound-for-pound best fighters in the world. You have two of the top 3 pound-for-pound fighters going in there, risking everything, and we're gonna show who's the best. So, yeah.
And this fight's been a long time coming. For years now, we've been talking about the best fighting the best, 2 trailblazers of women's boxing coming together at the peak of their careers. Is this a sort of mega fight that you ever sort of dreamed of when you first started out in boxing and combat sports in general?
No, actually, when I started boxing, I never thought I would be where I'm at right now, in this position, being one of the best pound-for-pound fighters, just being in this position altogether. In the beginning, I took it one fight at a time. Never thought I would become a world champion. Never in a million years did I think I would ever become a multiple division world champion. So this is something right now that we've been working on in the last couple of years, and I'm like, wow, I'm in this position now. But I do it for the girls coming up in the sport. You know, I'm not in here for a lot longer. So this is something that I never, when I started my career, I never dreamt of, but this is something now that is a dream come true.
And we talk about pioneers of the sport, and you yourself have stood at the forefront of women's boxing for a long time now as a 7-division world champion, a pound-for-pound great. After all that you've done, do you feel like this is the pinnacle and, you know, the kind of all the hard work and all the roads that lead to this fight?
Yes and no. You know, my legacy is, I left my legacy already. You know, I'm a 7-division world champion. I've done what I wanted to do in my career, accomplish. Definitely becoming Undisputed Champion is one of my goals, and I plan on becoming that come this fight with Katie Taylor. But, you know, if I didn't have this fight, I still would have been happy with how my career ended up. My legacy, like I said, is already left. I think I'm a future Hall of Famer, so I'm okay.
And we talk about, you know, legacy and how long you've been in the sport and winning world titles in 7 divisions, but it's something you've totally dedicated your life to, isn't it? Your entire life has been eat, sleep, and breathe boxing. Exactly.
You know, I'm 33. I feel as though I'm in my prime right now. I'm smarter. I'm quicker. I'm stronger than I was just 2 years ago. And it's funny how the body works, how the mind works. You know, I've been in boxing. I've been a professional coming on 13 years, and now, at 33, I'm feeling like it's all coming together. So now this is the best time for me to take this fight. I feel great. But yeah, you know, boxing isn't easy, but isn't an easy sport. But I'm super happy with how I feel now, and I'm only getting better.
And 13 years in the sport, what's been the main driver to keep going? Is it a pure love for fighting and combat sports, or is it a kind of, you know, a kind of desire to keep pushing women's boxing forward to events like this?
It's a combination of both. You know, you have to honestly love the sport to continue to be in it, especially as a woman. You know, we've never gotten the recognition that we deserve. We never got the opportunities that we need and we deserve. So for the love of the sport, in the beginning, I fought for pennies. But I love the sport. I love going in there, taking challenges, risking everything that, you know, I've done to go in there and just become victorious and just to be the best person that you can be. You know, I'm always training hard, and I just want to be able to see my work come all together fight night. And then I want to continue to open doors for the women in this sport. You know, we work really, really hard, and just to see how much women's boxing has changed is really exciting, and now is the best time to be a woman fighter. And I'm just so happy that I opened these doors and I'm at this position where, you know, at a big fight and people are talking about women's boxing, which is really exciting.
And just with that in mind as well, with all that you've done in the sport, in combat sports, again, we talk about you've been in so many different disciplines, but the chance to topple an undisputed champion in Katie Taylor, where would that rank in your achievements?
That would That would be ranked, of course, really high. You know, I respect Katie Taylor as a fighter. What she's done for the sport, she's actually helped us all together as well. When she became a professional, you know, people were talking about her. Meanwhile, there was women in the sport way before her, but everybody was like, oh, you heard about the Irish girl, you heard about the Irish girl. So, you know, she opened the doors for us to get the right platforms to fight on and you know, recognition. So, you know, it was definitely the top. You know, I want to be Undisputed Champion. But like I said before, if it wasn't for this fight, I would have been happy with how my career is right now.
And let's turn attention now to Katie Taylor. What can you tell me about her?
About her? About Katie Taylor? I mean, what's to say? You know, everyone knows Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor, like I said, she's done a tremendous job bringing like a household name. Everyone knows Katie Taylor, and people know female boxing because of Katie Taylor, which is awesome. And I've been making noise too, so people want to see this fight. And Katie Taylor, you know, she's a gold medalist. She has a lot of amateur fights. I don't have much amateur fight, but I have a lot of professional fights. And just Katie Taylor, it's Katie Taylor. You know, I respect her. She's a great fighter. She's a great champion, and she's done a lot for the sport of women's boxing. And I'm excited and I'm honored to, you know, share that ring with her. You know, you need a great dance partner to make a great fight. So that's what Katie Taylor is.
And a great dance partner on the night. You believe you're the better fighter in this matchup. What do you think that makes you that better fighter? What do you think you got to hand her first defeat?
I'm younger. I'm stronger. And I can box, I can brawl, I'm smart, I have a great team. You know, we put on a great game plan, and I'm gonna be ready for anything that she shows up. I mean, whatever she shows up to defeat me, it's gonna be very, very hard, because trust me, I'm not gonna just lay there. You know, Katie Taylor's never fought a girl like me. She's never fought a girl that hit as hard as me. So we'll see once she gets hit once or twice how things are going to change.
There's been a lot of back and forth in terms of interviews, but never really sort of any direct confrontation between the two of you as well. And I think that's quite refreshing nowadays to have such a huge fight and there be a huge amount of respect between the two of you as well. It's something you want to do for both the sport and the fans, for both of you, isn't it, really?
Yeah, there is absolutely no reason to talk bad about any of our opponents. You know, we do our job in the ring. I mean, look at. We respected each other, you know, and I'm going to continue to respect Katie Taylor. And I know she's going to do the same, because that's who we are. There is no need to disrespect each other outside the ring. We have a job, a task, and once we go in that ring, we let our hands do the talking. So, you know, much respect, you know, to her, and we gotta show that we're women, so women don't need to talk bad about each other. Leading up to this fight, I never said one bad word about Katie Taylor, and everybody still wants to see this fight, because we're two great, accomplished women going in that ring that night, and we're gonna show why we are the best.
I think the last time we as Matchroom spoke to you about this fight as well, I think a few years back you said, I don't need Katie Taylor needs me. Do you still stand by that? And kind of what do you mean by that?
That was actually a mistake on my part. It wasn't, you know, at that point I was just, no, it wasn't that Katie Taylor needs me. We need each other for this fight. Like I said, you need a great dance partner to make a great fight. And that's what both of us are. We, you know, depending on your list, she's number one or number two, or she's number one or number three. It just depends. But we're two top three pound for pound fighters. We need each other for this fight.
And it's a big fight, suiting of a fitting venue. Madison Square Garden. You're a proud Puerto Rican, but Brooklyn is your home as well. Just how special is it to have it just across the river in Manhattan at Madison Square Garden?
It's amazing. You know, I've never been to Madison Square Garden. It's just recently I went. One day I did a little tour, which was amazing. And for it being my first time going to Madison Square Garden, to be able to take that tour, to be able to be on the floor of Madison Square Garden, I was just in awe. I couldn't believe it. I'm truly honored to be to be even mentioned in a great venue like Madison Square Garden. I've made history at the Hulu Theater, becoming a 7th Division World Champion. I won my Golden Glove as an amateur at the Hulu Theater. Now it's like full circle. Like I'm being able to headline on such a great venue as Madison Square Garden. Just, some of the greats fight there, come out of there, victorious out of there, and I hope to be just that.
And I think just looking ahead to the night as well, the atmosphere, I think Katie's obviously going to bring
of course.
Irish fans in their thousands, but you having the home fans as well, it's got all the ingredients for a really sensational night, hasn't it?
No, it's going to be a great night of a whole bunch of Irish and Puerto Ricans just going out there. I guarantee you there's going to be a couple of fights in the crowd before the fight even happens between me and Katie Taylor. But, it is what it is, and that's what brings excitement.
Just the last part, I just do want to touch on the sort of next chapter in your career as well and how things have changed recently for you as well. I mean, this fight, again, we talked about it being in the packs and, negotiations breaking down, but you said a lot of this fight coming together has been part of your new team and your new management. Just talk to us a little bit about partnering with Jake Paul and how that relationship started.
Yeah, well, okay, the fight with Katie Taylor has been, on, off. So when we officially knew that it was off, Eddie Hearn, he said something that I took from him. He said women need to uplift their social media or their status, like to do what they have to do to get in these positions. So I said, okay, that's what we're gonna do. So we went out, my team, we spoke and we said we're gonna go out and we're gonna fight the best fights that we can. We fought Diana Bermudez, which is another pound for pound fighter. We beat her. So we just decided to take bigger risk and bigger chances. And then we got the opportunity to fight on pay-per-view on the card of Jake Paul. And I was like, yes, Jake Paul is making noise now. And he's, we want to bring the sport of women's boxing up. So we wanted to showcase that women can fight and women look good fighting. So we definitely was like, I'll take any position to be on the card of Jake Paul. And then after that fight, they spoke to us, they spoke to the team, and they were excited and wanting to work with us. And I said, you know what, this is, I'm at a different chapter in my career. This is like the tail end of my career, so we want to just go out with a bang. And when they offered that they wanted to sign us, become my manager, I was like, that had to be like the easiest and the fastest decisions that I ever made. We've been in the sport so long, we've had ups and downs, and I've seen it all. I've seen it all in boxing. So we said, you know what, let's do this. And so far, it's been exciting. We're here right now talking about the Katie Taylor fight because of Jake Paul. He's making a change. He's definitely, it's the reason why we're making great amount of money this fight and why this fight is coming together. Prior to signing with Jake Paul, even working with him, I had maybe 80,000, 90,000 followers on Instagram, and after that, I'm up to 312, 313. It's not a lot. Well, for me, it's a lot. but just to see, when I went to Cleveland, I fought in Cleveland. This is Jake Paul's hometown. I felt like I was fighting here in New York. I felt like I was fighting in my backyard of my house in Brooklyn. The crowd was amazing, and it was all because of Jake Paul pushing, Jake Paul, telling people, this is who I'm working with. This is Amanda Serrano. And the crowd, they're younger and younger, and it's so crazy how we have all these teenagers and not even 8-year-olds. I know who you are because of Jake Paul, and it's super, super cool. Just to see the evolution of the viewers now in the sport, and a lot of women now are acknowledging women's boxing, that we can fight too, and it's fun. It's amazing.
And just to build on that, so going from that fight to the fight with Katie Taylor at Madison Square Garden, what do you think this fight does for women's boxing first, but also boxing as a whole?
Oh, it does a lot. It does a lot. Like I said, we were showcasing two women who can fight, two accomplished women that can fight. You have Undisputed Champion versus a 7th Division Unified Champion going in there. Yeah, 2 different weight classes, but we're two tremendous fighters that are gonna go out there. No, doesn't matter the gender, woman or male. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna showcase a hell of a fight. We're gonna showcase skills, showcase power, selling power. We're gonna have that place super packed, and I hopefully it opens up eyes to other promoters and just continues to give us these opportunities.
And final question from me. In Madison Square Garden, you have your hand raised, you beat Case Taylor and become Undisputed Champion. Where does that win put you?
Oh, it puts me in the driver's seat. It puts me as the pound for pound greatest female boxer in the world. And yeah, like she wants to be, this is history for me. You know, I want to be the first Puerto Rican fighter to be Undisputed Champion in the full belt era. And that's gonna mean a lot to me. You know, I'm doing this for my island, and I'm doing this for the fans. You know, they've been talking, and we're giving it to them. And then hopefully I can become a 2-division Undisputed Champion. I want to go back to featherweight and pick up the other belts that I'm missing.
Amanda, great to see you. Thanks again for talking to us.
No, thank you so much.